Hi, Fred Nicholas, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about one of the all-time best exercises, and it's the push-up. But it's also very challenging because a lot of times when folks start an exercise program, push-up is a very difficult exercise to do. So what I'd like to do today is give you some different ideas about ways that you can get around that, ways that you can work up to being able to do more push-ups, and really having the push-up be a great part of your workout program. Because from a strength standpoint, it's outstanding. It works the entire body, and it's also great from a cardiovascular fitness standpoint, especially as you're able to increase the numbers a little bit more. So I'm going to take it down to the floor right now, and I'm going to show you some ideas here. Now, again, when a person first starts, on my 9-minute workout, for instance, I've got 4 sets of 10 push-ups. Now, if you're first starting that, that may be just unrealistic. You have to remember that it's not as important that you do the numbers when you get started as it is that you do something and get started. So here's a couple alternatives for you as far as the push-up goes. One of the best things that you can do is simply hold your body weight. So if you're in a position like this, your hands should be a bit outside of your shoulder width. Okay, so get your hands out there a little bit, and then you can do this on your knees too. And when you do it on your knees, you want your back side to be straight in line with your back. Because sometimes when I see people do this, I'll see them bring their knees up too far, so then when they do the push-up motion, they're not lifting their thighs and their buttocks and the heavy muscles back there, because that's a big part of doing the push-up right. So from here, when you go into that push-up position again, if you're on your knees, get your knees back. Now, I could do 10 push-ups where I'm barely bending my arms. That's not nearly as good as 3 good ones where I'm taking my chest and body as close to the floor as I can. So again, it's important that you're not too worried about the numbers right now, especially as you're starting, but you're worried about form, because form does an awful lot of good for you and is going to get your results faster than just doing a lot of numbers. Okay, so here's one other option. So you're on your knees, and just, what about if not doing the push-up, just holding your weight up? Okay, because holding your chest and your shoulders, holding your weight here, my stomach is engaged now, I can feel this in other parts of my body. Spending 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe doing 2, 3 to 4 sets of this, just holding your weight, again, is a good starting point. A couple other things. I'm going to take you to your feet now. What if you want to get off the floor? We're going to do some things on the wall now. So from here, if we come over to the wall, let's say that maybe the push-up bothers your wrists when you begin, and it can do that. Get on your forearms, and when you take your weight back here, try to back yourself a little bit further away from the wall. So I'm going to put my forearms on the wall right now, but when I move my feet back, that engages my stomach too, and also by doing this, it stretches out my hamstrings and calves in the back of my leg. So I can get on the wall and hold myself up by the forearm. Again, if I want to make it a little more difficult, I just kick those feet out a little bit further. So here, you're not putting nearly as much pressure onto your wrist. Same thing if we go back to the floor. Rather than being in a holding position where you're holding yourself up on your wrists, take yourself down into a position where you're holding yourself in a plank, but you're on your forearms. So again, I can feel this in my backside, I can feel this in my back, I can feel it in my stomach. And again, hold these positions for a little bit. Hold them. The longer you do it, the longer you'll be able to hold them. So again, it's important that you don't try to go too fast too soon. Take your time, work into these things, but you know what, again, the biggest thing is that you are doing them. Because again, all the great exercise ideas in the world, if they're not used, aren't going to do you a bit of good. You have to be patient. You have to take your time with this. Let me show you a few other things that you can work into as you start building up. So here we are. We're starting in a plank position on our knees. And then from there, holding that position, let's say 4 to 5 seconds, then work yourself up into a push-up position. From there, you can even do a push-up. There's one set. Go back down to your forearms once again. Hold for a count of 4 to 5 seconds. Come up one arm at a time. Hold for another count of 4 to 5 seconds. Do a push-up. repeat the process. So once again, a couple of very important things. One is, don't rush yourself, especially if you're first getting started with an exercise program. The biggest thing that happens to a lot of people when they start is they become frustrated. And it doesn't do you any good to become overly frustrated, because usually what happens is then you quit. So if you just take it step by step by step and be happy with your small progress, because those small progresses that you're making very soon will get to be big progresses and big happy things for you with your fitness program. So take your time. If you've got the 9-minute workout, again, work it slowly. If you can't do all the numbers again, that's fine. The biggest thing that you do, though, is do some of it, do what you can. Don't worry about doing the whole thing in 9 minutes time. Take part of it. Do half of it. Maybe not even half. But again, the main thing is that you're doing something. And the more you do that, the more benefit you're going to get from the program, from any program that you do. So best of luck to you, and keep working at it.